know. All right. So the question was, why do I do what I do?
And what motivated you to start, and what helped you sustain the effort that you put in your businesses?
So basically, why I do what I do is because it's my purpose. When I was in matric, I remember reading a book called Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren, and I don't know why. Oh, I do know why. I was about to say I don't know why I was so the way I was, but I was like I was very emotional and very like, you know, because I didn't understand the meaning of life. So I've gone through a lot in my life. I lost my mother when I was 7, my father when I was 11, and
sorry.
I experienced a lot of bullying at school, and after my dad passed away, we lost all of our assets and finances, and so it was now this journey where you went from having everything that you've ever needed to having nothing, and just trying to figure out who do I belong to in this world. And so I could constantly used to ask myself, Kanti, why am I alive? Why Mpilela Ntoni? Like what's my reason? Like why are we breathing? And I kept on trying to figure out what was the point of humanity. Like why were we breathing? And I was trying to figure out, where does this all fit in? Like what happened? And thankfully during that time as well, I rededicated my life to the Lord. So I got born again, and then things started to make sense, and I realized, there is such a thing as humanity, because there was God who's infinite, and he decided that he wants to have communion with someone other than himself, and so he created us. And then I started also then to realize that there was a very specific reason why he created all of us, because it's like he was writing a story, and so he specifically chose characters, and he gave a reason for being in this book called life. And so I read this book by Rick Warren, Purpose Driven Life, and I was like, God, if we're alive for a purpose and a reason, then I want to know what that is. And I really took this book very seriously, because I really wanted to stop feeling confused. And during that time, I discovered my purpose, and I came down to 5 key words that I essentially live by. The one: love, inspire, lead, develop, purpose. And those keywords jumped at me, and I realized that is why I'm alive. And so I, because it is in some way connected to those 5 words: to love, inspire, lead, develop, purpose. And particularly doing the business that I'm most focused on, which is the Sibale Africa. I do that because when I came out of school, like, God laid out for me what he wanted me to do, and one of the things he wanted me to do was to go to Bible college and not circular university immediately. And then he said I must do this event internship, to learn as much as I can. And so I did this event internship, which was a year-long internship, and then I was doing Bible college. And after I did the year-long event internship, I just realized, I was like, I am not an employee, guys. I'm sorry. I was just like, I'm sorry, I'm not an employee. I loved what I was doing. I loved my boss. She was great. But I just realized, I'm like, I am not. And I couldn't ignore it. And so I was like, I kind of always knew that I would start my own business, because I saw my mom run a business. I saw my dad run a business as well. And so I had that picture. But kind of that 1 year working was like, yeah, no, Mugel is business. And then when I started my business, I struggled. I didn't know that, you like, how to go about naming it. I didn't know what services I wanted to offer. One day I was there, I was there, I was up, I was down, I was left, I was right. I was going to this store, getting blocked here, going there, getting blocked. It was one massive mess. And I think for 3 years, actually, I went about almost every month changing what my business does because I just didn't have clarity. And whenever I'd get stopped, then I'd be like, okay, maybe that's not working, let's do this. And so that is how Isibale Africa formed, because I was like, if I, as smart as I am, or as smart as I think I am, and as loud as I am, because being loud comes with, telling people, hey guys, please help me. As smart and as loud as I am, there are other people who didn't have the type of education I had, who are not as outspoken as I am. So if I'm struggling, can you imagine how much more they are going to struggle? That is how Isibale Africa formed. Because I was just like, then let's make it as simple as possible. And I mean, even still today, like sometimes I'll be filling in an application form and they'll be asking me for like quarterly revenue, what, and I'm like, what is that? And so that inspires me to be like, okay, if I'm confused about whatever that, how you work out that, what revenue or percentage of ratio or what, if someone else is gonna be confused. And so actually that is why I do what I do, because I was like, I'm gonna figure it out so that another person can find it easier to quickly do it, because it can change people's lives, And then the question of how I find the motivation, to you phrased it so nicely. Can you phrase it again, please?
But I think you answered that when you said, if you're struggling with it, how much more is the next person going to struggle with them? What motivated you to start? And in the last one, okay, what helps you sustain the effort you put in your businesses?
You see, that's a really, really good question. So what helps me sustain the effort is someone out there is gonna suffer for it. So so every day I don't put up a video, every day I don't write a post or write an email. Someone out there is gonna first, I'm gonna suffer for it, because by the end of the month, when I'm meant to pay bills, I won't have the finances to pay the bills. That's a big one. Also because I'm a 26-year-old girl living alone in far from her family in the Western Cape. Not living alone, but living far from her family in the Western Cape. So I don't have someone where I can say, okay, they're paying my rent, they're gonna give me food. I don't have that. I have to do that for myself. So on the other side of me not putting in the effort and me not sustaining the things I do is going to be, number one, me suffering. But number two, I imagine that there's another woman out there who's like, I need to feed my kids, but I'm not finding a job. And when I try to do business, I just can't. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And so that is where I find that motivation to sustain this effort, because I'm like, someone's depending on me. And another thing that really sustains the effort is the realization that if the world is a horrible place, to live in, and if the world is if the things are just not working out, the less I do, the more affected I will be. It's the same with the understanding that when people keep their wealth to themselves, it's like, you don't understand that the more you become wealthy and the more others become less wealthy, is the more that crime will shoot up. And if someone is going to steal, who are they going to steal from? They're going to steal from you, the wealthy person. And so you need to realize that, it's like this thing that you constantly have to balance. So if I want a good and happy world, then, doing things for myself is going to impact, for other people. And then another thing that a lot of people don't talk about, is discipline. I had to work so hard. You won't always be motivated. I promise you won't always be motivated. I can tell you that probably 70% of my time I'm not motivated. And when you think about it, I'm such a motivated person. So it's crazy to think that me, as a motivated person that I am, 70% of my time I'm not motivated. And so that discipline becomes so important, because when I don't feel like doing it, that discipline comes in. When I don't know what, that discipline leads me and guides me to something that I can do to lead me to what I'm meant to be doing. So it's the understanding that on the other side of what I do is someone who's going to benefit greatly from it, or someone who's going to suffer greatly from it. And understanding that if I want a certain world, I need to create it, and discipline. That is really honestly how I've been sustaining what I do, or sustaining the motivation to do what I do.
I think another thing is that if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. God is going to give the idea to someone. While when you are suffering, as you said, that you also suffer if you don't do it. You suffer, and then someone else is actually doing the idea that God gave you.
And nothing hurts more like that. Okay?
It hurts. I was about to say that thing hurts. It hurts, and you will see them putting the effort, Jay, and you'll be like, "Hey, but this is what I thought. I had this idea." So wow. Now that's the one thing that scares me. It's two things, in fact. One, the one that you mentioned, that if you don't do it, then someone else suffers, because you were called to be help, or you were called to assist in a certain way. So that's the one thing that keeps me on my feet. And then the second one is, if I don't do it, trust me, someone else will do it. Someone else will do it. Not for me.
And they'll succeed at it, and they'll benefit from it, and then you'll be there like you're still living in regret. So absolutely.
Okay, the third question: what was the most difficult thing about building Mbali Africa from scratch? 2, what mistakes did you make, and what's the one thing you're proud to have achieved in building your business?
Sure. So many things were difficult. So many things are difficult, guys. Starting a business is difficult, even still today. It's not difficult. It's just it's hard, bunzima. Like it's simple. That's why I'm saying it's not difficult, in the sense that it's simple. Because if I tell you that these are the 10 things that you need to do, but the effort and the energy and the ease of doing that is not necessarily going to be easy. And so I think one of the biggest is just starting without capital or connections. It's a bit of capital from saving every time I made a bit of money. And then I also I became bold, and I approached sponsors, and I was able to get a little bit of funding. But for example, you need to first buy the. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're back.
So you need to buy these t-shirts. You need to pay someone to print the t-shirts. Then you need to set up a website. All of that costs money, left, right, and center. Money. So not having the finances to start a business has been hard. It's one of the reasons why it has taken as long as it has. And just not, I think one of the hardest things is just also being judged for being young, being judged for being black, being judged for being a woman. Those things are hard. It's not fun to know that I don't feel confident to just boldly go into a place and speak, or to boldly do this contract or that contract, because I know that you're gonna judge me because I'm black, I'm young, I'm female. So those two things have really been hard. Just those 4 things essentially. It's the lack of capital and being young, black, and female. It's been really difficult. And